All right, ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live. This is Dillio representing DillioT2K.com. First Look Native Instruments Machine live broadcast, quick 30-minute broadcast. We're going to go right into it and have some fun as the viewers come in. I'm going to try to do this as a live interactive thing. I very much hope that my microphone's a lot clearer than the last broadcast. Sorry for any inconvenience I might have caused any viewers. This is something random. I just got it running, and I thought I'd share what I think about this program. So without further ado, we're going to dive right into it as the viewers come in the chat room. So Maschine 2.7, finally. I've been waiting for this feature since 1.5. And I think 1.5 was out in 2010. So it took 7 years to get to this point, but I'm glad we're finally here. And I definitely like this loop feature, and I wonder if FL Studio will add this feature. I gotta talk about them because they have a lot of loop features that I like. So we're live and we're here. So let's get right into it. So I have a loop here, obviously the loop and if you want a sampler, the sampler stay the same, but they added something called audio, which turns into an audio module. And as you can see, you start to see waveforms. So if I were to start playing right now, we have a loop. But let's go right into it, what I'd like to see fixed. Let's knock that out the way. So I got a loop, but as you can see, if I go to edit the sample, and that's another thing. When you have the audio sample in audio mode, when you try to look at the sample and edit it, you can't get that. It's locked in, it's fully committed to that position right there. So what I have to do now is to fix an imperfect sample to make it fit within the system. Now, albeit, I have to say this, is that I like being able to change and see where the waveforms line up in the grid. I like that. But I can't change my starting point of that sample until I go back into a sampler mode. I hit sampler, okay, and then now I can see the waveform. Now I can dive right into that waveform, in which I can drag my sample or my starting point right to the beginning of that waveform. At that point, now I can truncate that sample, go back and turn it back into an audio module. Now it's lined up tight. Now when I go to the grid and I hit play, it's already there. But I'm still not lined up with the tempo yet, so what I got to do is I got to conform that tempo. Now I was at 143. I want to make a special note of that because I was making a beat with that. So what I can do now is I can now maybe get a little metronome going, see what the tempo's doing. Tempo's not quite right, but now I can see what the waveform's doing. And now I can move that waveform by changing the tempo right to that beat that I wanted to come in at. Now when I hit play, now I like this feature because now with the knobs I can tune that sample to come in right where I want in real time. So kudos to Native Instruments for that. But the fact I can't change that starting point, I'm not too much of a big fan of that. But it is what it is. It's definitely a move forward. So I'll show you what I made just going back to the other tempo. I was doing like 143 and I was just trying to chopping some stuff around. So here's a grid. It looks kind of complicated, but it's not really that complicated. And I wish I could just blow this up without using my controller. But this is what I kind of did. Now just chopping different loops. And the cool thing about it is that you can change the pitch of different things. So if I wanted to move this slice up, now you can really get into some glitch stuff, and you can just add regular samples. Now I'm just taking different loops and adding stuff in. So for instance right here, if I go into that note, now we can trigger different loops and samples at different pitches. I think that's a great thing, and I think you can chord too with that, which is great. But now I can I think you can make some nice effects with that, but this is where I wish they would integrate a little bit more flexibility here. Because yes, while I can't control velocity, I don't know if I can control pan. Let's see. Can I get pan? So let's see. Let's see. Maybe I was wrong. So if I do that note there, and this is me just checking out in real time, folks. So I may be wrong in thinking that I can change the pan. And pan doesn't change. So that's more of a MIDI value and not something that affects the internal panning of the sample being triggered. Now in FL Studio you can do that. You also change filters for each slice and stuff like that. So, but again, I still think it's a step in the move forward in the right direction. What's up, chat room? Let me know if you're there. So now what I'm going to do is just kind of I took some random loops and I'm going to see if I can get them to sync and talk with each other. So I got this loop here. And oh yeah, let's demonstrate it. Let's get right into it. With that tempo changing, you can change the pitch or change the timing of that sample. It'll stay locked in pretty instantaneous. Well, instantaneous, not pretty, but instantaneously, which is good. So let's see what other loops I got. But again, you got to go from sampler to loop. Right there. And that loop is pretty much pre-cut there. Another one, just changing things to audio. So here's another scenario where the loop wasn't cut properly. You know, so now I have to go back and turn this into a sampler. Go to sampler. Go and edit the waveform by zooming into it and getting that start point to come right where I want to go. Once that's there, truncate. Now it's truncated. Now I got to go back here. Internal audio. Now I'm back there. But we also know that the loop isn't synced yet. So now we just got to change that tempo. You might have to do a finite tuning to make sure. So even then, with more probably work at the beginning of the sample, I could probably get a better seamless loop. This is a regular drum break. And that's another thing I wish that they had added was ability to re-trigger time stretch samples. That's something that you can do in a different platform that you can't do here. So I would have liked to have seen that added in. So again, we're here. That's what I'm saying. I would like to change that start point. If we got instantaneous time stretch, great. But not all samples are perfectly sliced in the real world. Maybe in the world where only you buy sample libraries and things like that. In the real world, you might get a loop from a friend or someone, or maybe just some random sound that you found, and it's not going to be perfectly cut. So now the convenience of dragging the sample right into the sequence and having it play on time is gone. So now I have to go through this step again, where I go click on the sample, change it back to a sampler, go into the edit window, change my start point, get it right on the top of that, start of that transit. It seemed like this could be an automatic function to help you deal with a more seamless experience with samples that aren't perfectly cut to a perfect loop. Thankfully, because I can manipulate that tempo, I can drag that tempo right where I want it and see where it lands on that grid. So I think that is definitely a move in the right direction. However, now I have to go through the step and convert it back to audio. So it almost, you know, I almost think that the sampler should just have a loop mode in that, so that it can do what the audio plugin is. I don't understand why there's an audio and sampler. I think that sampler should have the features of audio and let you decide between the two internally of the sampler instead of going between two different modules. So now we have the sample here. So again, it looks like I didn't change that sample, so go back to sampler. Let's look at it real quick. Get that. Let's drag in and zoom right into that loop. Gotta look right into that loop. We're in there. Great. Truncate. Done. Go back and change this back into an audio clip. Now we're back here. And let's see what happens. And I can see that the sample's rushing on the transient right here. And I can see that the transient right there, because we see waveforms. I would imagine that it would be cool if we could have some samples where we could click on things, and it would be nice to see the little bars that you can click on the sampler would have waveforms inside of that. I think that would be a great visual cue to help you kind of see where you're going further. So we're back here, and I'm just changing that tempo. And in this scenario, I don't really have to use my ears. All I have to do is use my eyes at this point, and then use your ears, use your eyes, you know, and just see where everything lands at. We got loops playing together. It's like some old 90s. And as we got instantaneous tempo change, that's great. That's a great feature. There's still some things I would like to see to be implemented a little better. But for the most part, it is a great feature addition. What's up, TikTok, Chain Beats, Andre and Kane Beats? What's up? So now I have a sample here. Let's see what the sample does. Oh yeah, wait, I can't use it in the sample. I gotta change it to audio clip. So I guess it's not a, I guess it can be a big issue, but you just gotta develop that new muscle memory. Hello, Jesse the Cat. To make sure that you're changing it to audio clip. So we're back here. This is running. And this will be just a quick broadcast. Like, I'll wrap it up in 30 minutes. I don't want it to be too long because I know people got things to do. I got things to do. So that sample's playing. It seems to be lining up just right. To make sure I can look at the grid and check it out. That's the thing. You know, I wish I could just blow this up, this view up, so I can really look at those waveforms superimposed onto a grid to really tune those samples. So this sounds like it's locked in. As soon as you unmute, you're hearing it. Thank you, Jesse the Cat. I appreciate that. Shout out to everybody who's updating while watching this. So as you can see, it's real easy to add sounds. So let's play with that. Let's go into gate mode. Gate mode is cool. So we're going to go back to this musical loop right here, and let's go back to the plugin. And we're on loop, so we're going to go into gate. So gate is where you can click in notes. Let's see, from muscle memory, I can right click here in FL Studio and just hit 4 notes, and then I can get something on the screen very quickly so that I can move around and play with stuff. So when I hit gate, and I could just play with that sample. So we're in there. Let's see if we can speed that up a little bit. I just manipulated that thing there with that sample. Let's go into gate mode. And we're just adding slices there. And the cool thing is that you can play this all live with your... And again, we can just play with it more. Same thing. And we can just add slices and we can just keep adding slices. And then we can go into the piano roll and mess with those slices and change the pitch of them. Now I can really do some trippy stuff now. And we're just adding slices. And so in there I want to get real fancy and dive right into there. So I'll go ahead and throw in some 64 note slices in there. Play with it some more. And then if I want to go trap with it, I can go trap with it. Mix it up. Throw in a kick drum. You know, find a little snare sound. So we're wired back out again, and you can just add more sounds. We're just clicking stuff in. We're in there. And I'm just here jamming with it. So that's the new feature. Bring some more stuff in from that other loop that I already had. Let's see if I can make it work with it. What else I can do? And you can change the tune, right? So I got two samples that are in different pitches, so I can go back to that first sample and change the pitch instantaneously. I think that's a great move there. Yeah, so that's pretty much the features. This is my first look. I think it's a great opportunity to get back familiar with it. It's definitely a refreshing feature, and I can't wait to sink my teeth into it more with my music creation and stuff like that. I think it's a great move forward. There are, you know, like I said, there are a few gripes about the logistic, and I totally agree with you that Maschine needs automation. That's something they've yet to address. You know, I wish that was included with this update, but I'm glad that I got real-time time stretching. I mean, this is like probably the main feature I missed when I made a transition from FL Studio to Maschine, and I've been missing it ever since. So while it's not quite like how I would like it to be for Maschine, I think it's a great tool. And you know, the cool thing is, I guess if I want to trigger, that's the thing, I guess you can kind of trigger it on that gate mode. Hopefully they listen. Hopefully they listen. We'll see. We'll see. Depends how many views this gets. But the thing is that it's cool to be able to trigger your samples that are currently playing. It's like an instantaneous mute. It's almost like you're doing a mute and note automation via your MIDI data that you play by the melodies that you play into the sequence. But what if I want to make that sample stutter? That's perfectly in time. Well, I can't do that until I take the perfectly time stretched and time synced sample, and then I have to resample that, throw that on a sampler, right? And then hit them slices up like that if I want to do that. You know, so, and again, I don't personally agree with there being audio clips and sampler separate. I really think that that should be one in this environment, because a lot of logistics that I want to do in between the two would go that much faster. Again, you're taking imperfect samples, and again, let's see if I can find another imperfect sample. You know, I want a imperfect sample, and then so to have an imperfect sample and to, you know, do stuff like that. I mean, I'll demonstrate it again here. You know, for example, I'll play this right here. It's perfectly in sync, but it didn't start off that way. There was like dead air in the beginning of the sample before it started playing. So if I grabbed something from the vinyl and maybe the detection sequence didn't work directly on that, then now I have to go through that process of going through the sampler, trimming. And this is not even truncating the whole sample. Just let me tweak the start point. Let me have the flexibility of changing that start point. I think that's something you can do in Maschine while it's stretching and all that stuff. And I think in Ableton, you can select the start point of the sample and move that forward and back in time, so that when the computer, what's up, Low Cuts, does it itself, now it's all straightforward. And so now you can kind of, so if the tempo drags, and that's another cool thing about Ableton, is that if there's a certain sample that kind of rushes or lags a little bit, you can go around there and grab that transient and warp it to the tempo. I think that's a super dope feature in Ableton that I thought was really nice, and it really comes in handy when you're trying to do it older or just flawed loops, or maybe there's some special effect you want to do, to be able to drag that transient and move it right where you want it to be at. Because as we know, a lot of the old samples, the tempo oscillates a little bit. It'll speed up, or it'll slow down a little bit. You know, there's a motion going on, you know. And in the digital world and by the ears, we can hear that. And if we want kind of like a perfect loop, we got to be able to warp some of those things to make it perfect, especially in this day and age as we go into 2018. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to get out the way. Make sure you hit the comments, like, and subscribe, and stay tuned for T2K Select, which will be where I'm going to start doing producer coaching and mentoring and motivation via some private hangouts 4 times a month. So stay tuned for that opportunity. I'm definitely looking for some students who want to learn from me, or someone who just wants to talk about stuff like that. I do sell beats, but not it's not primarily where I have going on right now. And I hate to plug it in while I'm talking about T2K Select. So I hope that some of you guys who view this or whoever sees this on YouTube was looking for someone to teach. I've gotten many requests about people wanting me to teach them. So this is the opportunity for us to come together. So I'm creating a platform that's off of YouTube, that's from my own website, where I'm going to be doing production mentoring training. This is starting in January. I'm starting the service in January. And I hope that some of you guys get on board and, you know, and I'll start training and stuff like that. And also, before I go, I'm probably going to get Reason. Reason is on sale, and I'd like to get back into it. What's up, Rob? How you doing? I'd like to get back into Reason and find out what's changed since I left. Reason was a fun platform. I used to use it a whole lot, so I'm going to probably get a copy of that for a birthday gift at the end of the month. And it's not that expensive right now, so you know, I'm gonna get into some tutorials on no doubt, Rob, I will let you know. You know, I'm going to talk about it on YouTube. I'm gonna do an announcement video. I'm just getting the logistics out the way, because as I start T2K Select, I'm actually going to start a membership site with premium content, premium tutorials, premium secrets, just the real stuff. You know, it's going to be a great membership site, and I hope that people want to come by and join that site. So stay tuned for that. The takeover is continuing. We are taking over. We're going to have fun this year, and hopefully I'll be at your guys' service in 2018. So thank you guys so much. This is the first look Dillio live. I'm going to get off of here. If you missed any of this broadcast, feel free to go back and check it out from the beginning. It sounds like the audio worked out pretty good along with the screen capture, so I'm very happy. I hope you guys are happy. Stay encouraged, and I'll see you guys later for the next Holiday Creative 12 Challenge video, which I'll probably be filming and dropping tonight if things go smooth. All right, peace out.